Hello everyone, we are back again. We will see in this lecture, we will see the temperature measuring instruments such as thermocouple, optical pyrometers, and total radiation pyrometers, optical pyrometer. We will see pyrometer and thermocouples. So this is a principle, the basic figure which describes about the thermocouple. So what is thermocouple? When two different metals, metal A and metal B, they are connected like this. At two different junctions, we maintain one junction as at a high temperature, other junction at low temperature. One is at high temperature, say T1, other temperature is T2, low temperature. When different materials are maintained, their junctions are maintained at different temperatures, EMF is induced. It is the basic principle involved in it. When EMF is induced in this one, so depending upon the magnitude of EMF induced, we can calibrate for this temperature, high temperatures. So any one temperature uh, is fixed. Say low temperature is fixed because we can use ice. We know ice is at 0 degrees Celsius. So you can use ice whose temperature is known, and it is always the temperature maintained the same. Then high temperature, say the hot junction in general, is kept in the environment whose temperature is to be recorded. And this is the main basic principle of a thermocouple. When two dissimilar materials are maintained at different temperatures at their junctions, EMF is induced. In vice versa, when EMF is supplied for two different materials, one junction will be hot, other junction will be cool. Reverse is also possible. I think we call it as some Peltier effect. Okay, fine. Now, thermocouple. On continuation, we will see the next bit. So, how it is taking place. So, you have, see the parts. You have a chromium and aluminum alloys, chromel leads. This is alumel, and you have a temperature controlled cold reference junction, ice bath. This temperature is controlled, it is always fixed, and these two ends are joined, and this is hot junction and this one is a cold junction, and we have two electrodes here, and it is subjected to a millivoltmeter. We will find the voltage in this voltmeter, a millivoltmeter, depending upon the magnitude of this voltmeter, and this temperature is calibrated. The temperature whose temperature, the measuring temperature which is to be measured, and this hot junction is kept in that place, and the other is the cold junction which is known already. This known already. Then depending on the magnitude of the current that is passing through, the voltage developed here, millivolts, the temperature of this hot junction is calibrated. The searching for this Cromel, Cromel and the Alumel, the temperature ranges are minus 200 to 1100 degrees Celsius range. Alumel and Cromel ranges are minus 200 to 1100 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is how it functions. Very simple in construction, but the temperature ranges are very high. To find 1100 degrees Celsius means it is very high. So under that temperatures also the instrument has to work without any errors. So it is a very good instrument compared with the other instruments measuring temperature measuring instruments. We have seen this in our IC engines, in heat transfer lab. We have seen the thermocouples. Now here we have a small description regarding a thermopile. What is a thermopile? Thermopile is when thermocouples are arranged in series. You are having a hot junction and it is a cold junction. When thermocouples are joined together in series, EMF induced will be EMF1, EMF2, EMF3, EMF4, so on, EMFn. So this type of arrangement is used to find out the temperature differences within the same zone, within the same room. Measurement, you can find out the temperature differences, because here this temperature is maintained at with a constant temperature, that is cold junction. It is under our control, and the overall EMF is summation of all the EMFs, E1, E2, E3, E4. So when you add all this, you will get n times of E when all EMFs are same. But when you find when you won't get if E2 is different from E1 or E3 is different, then we can say that the temperature difference is existing. Thermopile is the arrangement of thermocouples in series in order to find the temperature differences. Next, the parallel arrangement is also there. This parallel arrangement of thermocouples is used to find out the average temperature of the given particular measurement or area we place. See, when average temperature measurement is to be done, thermocouples are connected in parallel. So EMF is averaged. So E is calibrated. This capital E is calibrated, and for the average temperature, E1 plus E2 plus E3 by E3 is equals to E, because this is 3 because there are 3 thermocouples. If n number of thermocouples are there, then you can use so on En divided by n. The next one, the next topic is pyrometers. How many topics we have completed? We have seen a mercury in glass thermometer, bimetallic thermometers, helix bimetallic thermometer, spiral bimetallic thermometer, pressure thermometer, that is fluid expansion type, pressure type thermometer, resistance thermometer, thermistors, thermocouples. Now, pyrometers. In pyrometers, we have two types: total radiation pyrometer, optical pyrometer. This is total radiation pyrometer. See here, it is very simple. But what about the application of this one? The application of this total radiation pyrometer is to determine the temperature of of a molten material, like in furnaces, the temperature is very, very high. So we cannot directly keep any instrument inside that furnace, and we cannot expect the temperature recording by keeping the instrument into the furnace, because the temperatures are very, very high. The range is very high. It is around 300, 3000 degrees Celsius. It will be, or it may be higher also sometimes. Now, uh, or you can also find out the temperature of very high temperature sources, like the temperature of the sun, maybe it may be, or temperature of the stars, that can also be determined. Now here, mm, let us see the parts of this total radiation pyrometer. First one, this is housing tube, blackened. Next, thermocouple. See, this is a thermocouple setup arrangement. This is hot junction. Cold junction is already fixed, and depending on the millivoltmeter reading, this temperature is calibrated, just like thermocouple function only. The instrument we are using is thermocouple, and the other setup is to bring uh, the intensity of radiation to a fixed point. That is what is the intention for the other setup. Now here we have a protecting radiation shield we have here, and we are having a concave mirror. It converges the radiations coming from the source, and we have rack and pinion arrangement for adjusting this concave mirror such that all the rays are incident at a single point. Next, a sighting hole, so you can see from here for the adjustments, so whether it is all the rays are focusing at a point or not. Now it is a thermocouple. Here thermocouple is rack and pinion. This is housing. Fine. Now this is a radiating object. This is the radiating object, and it is a millivolt meter. See, coming to its operation, the source starts radiating. We find the radiations that are coming from the source. We keep this instrument such that the rays are entering into this instrument. We have a protection shield here such that it will not affect our eyes, or it will not affect the equipment also. Now only some radiations are coming. See, we are not stopping all the radiations. A few radiations which are uh, not striking this one. So those radiations made to concentrate at a point, and this point will be very hot, and hot junction is in turn linked to this thermocouple, and we will find the reading in millivoltmeter. That can be depending on the reading over millivoltmeter, you can find out the temperature. So it is calibrated. This voltmeter reading is calibrated to determine the temperature. Very simple to understand, but this equipment seems to be costlier, um, and it is highly sensitive, and wide range of temperatures are determined over 700 to 2000 degrees Celsius, around 3000 degrees Celsius temperature can be determined by using this pyrometers. So radiation pyrometer itself, it says that temperature of some radiating very high temperature source is a measurement here. So we need to measure that temperature. And coming to its applications, so operation, we have learned operation already, and say same thing. The application, they are saying that around 700 to 2000 degrees Celsius temperature range is the range for this equipment instrument. Now coming to the limitations, the presence of dust, smoke, and gases between the radiating object and concave mirror will make the pyrometers to read low. Yes, the presence of dust or any fog, dust or any other smoke or any gases, the combustion gases or any other flue gases, if they are present, then that lead to the errors. It is one of the limitations. Next, the instrument has got low sensitivity. It has got low sensitivity and the lower temperature ranges. The instruments cannot be used for temperatures lower than 600 degrees Celsius. For temperature lower than 600 degrees Celsius, we cannot use this instrument. In many cases, cooling is observed to protect the instrument. In many cases, the cooling is required to protect the instrument from overheating, because high temperatures we are determining. So some cooling system is also required in order to avoid the errors. So we have completed this radiation pyrometer. Now we enter into the next one. Optical pyrometer. Before that, a small point in radiation thermometer. We can use lens or we can use a parabolic reflectors, and the condition is the hot junction should be kept at that focal point. Here also at the focal point is the hot junction. Next, optical pyrometer. Coming to this optical pyrometer, its function is also to determine high temperatures. The temperature of a source which is at high temperature, the source temperature is very high, and it is to be determined by using the optical pyrometer. Now let us see the parts of this one. Again, the principle is same like we have seen in the previous pyrometer, that is total radiation pyrometer. Same principle, we focus at one point, and this is the hot junction. Total radiation pyrometer, and this is the optical pyrometer. We have a body here, a tube here, and here you have an eyepiece for adjusting the focusing point, for observing this bulb or this turns, number of turns, this coil, that is reference temperature lamp it is, and you have an absorption screen, objective lens, temperature source, rheostat, battery, millivoltmeter. So these are the parts of an optical pyrometer. The parts are eyepiece, filter, reference temperature lamp, absorption screen, objective lens, temperature source, millivoltmeter, rheostat, battery. So these are the minimum requirements for this instrument, optical pyrometer. Now coming to its operation. First of all, we adjust this lens such that uh, the rays coming from the temperature source will be focusing over this coil. That is the first adjustment. Then only when we observe from this eyepiece, depending upon brightness, darkness, or invisibility of this coil, we are going to find out the temperature. In first case, there are three cases. First case, if we can see this coil as a brighter coil, a very bright coil, it means that we have given more electricity such that here we give electricity, we supply some current to this coil. So when we give current, so it will also start radiating. So from radiation, heat transfer, the rays coming from the source and the rays coming from this, if their intensities are same, if the intensities of this source and this bulb are same, then we cannot see the coil. Where the intensities of radiation is same, we cannot see this. Or suppose if I increase the current, if I decrease this resistance and increase the current, then this will be brighter, will be more brighter than this one. If I decrease the current and so you will get more brightness like this. See here, the filament is dark, cooler than the temperature source. When it is dark, says that its temperature is the coil temperature is less than the source temperature. If the filament is brighter, it means when it is bright, its temperature, the filament temperature is, if we can see this filament brightly with red in face, we see in bright, it says that the temperature of this filament is higher than the temperature of the source. In third case, if we cannot see the filament, see the filament disappears, equal brightness of filament and temperature source. This is what is the case we want. When this thing happen, we should adjust the current supply to the bulb such that we cannot see the coil inside the bulb. It should disappear. It means that the temperature of the coil and the brightness from the outside source is same. So in that case, we should, so in such cases, we should record the current and it is calibrated to determine the temperature of the source with some errors. You can, with some limitations or calibrated values, you should give the temperature of the source. So the thing is, first we supply the current. If the supplied current is very high, this will be brighter. If it is less, it is darker. If it is same, I mean to say, the radiation intensity of this bulb and this source is same, that is, at that situation we cannot see the filament coil, that is coil, and that current is recorded and calibrated for the temperature of the source. So this is how the optical pyrometer functions. Now we have applications. In optical pyrometers are used to measure temperatures of molten metals, both same for the previous one and this one. The temperature of the furnace, the objects which are highly luminous, so that can be determined by using optical pyrometers. Thank you.